This is 1,000 yen, about $6.50 or £5. Now in the UK, this might get you a sad sandwich, a packet of crisps and a passive-aggressive smile. Here in Japan though, this is a passport to a bloody good meal. Today we're going for 5 meals at 5 different restaurants, each for 1,000 yen or less. Now I know what you're thinking, oh, some serious cutbacks at abroad in Japan. What do you expect given I blew all my budget on Connor's exotic train ride last month?
Oh, that's too far.
Well, I've chosen these 5 restaurants for 2 reasons. Number 1, they're everywhere. No matter if you're lost in Tokyo, Kyoto or anywhere in between, they're there when you need them the most. And number 2, they're examples of culinary efficiency at its absolute peak. Many with wonderful backstories of Japanese ingenuity and entrepreneurship. These are restaurants where the food is fast, cheap, weirdly satisfying and occasionally served up by a robot cat with trust issues. So without further ado, let's see what 1,000 yen really gets us in Japan. Gavin, quick. All right, shh, this is a secret. Don't tell anyone about this restaurant. This is my favourite restaurant chain in Japan. I eat there twice a week. Nobody knows about it because it's concealed, typically on the 2nd or 3rd floor, right, hidden away. And my God, is it good. Well-balanced meals at a reasonable price. Follow me. Don't let anyone see us. Founded in 1958 in Tokyo, Otoya's concept was simple. Recreate the warmth and nutrition of home-cooked meals, but in a casual restaurant setting, with their slogan being, a taste of home. Thankfully, not my home, because we all know just how bad my cooking is. Still, salmonella's good for you, right? Right? They say in life the toughest decision you'll ever make is choosing your career. It's a lie. It's choosing what to eat at Otoya. Also, I keep pronouncing Otoya wrong. It's Otoya. Otoya, right? It's just quite hard to say that naturally when you're as bad at saying Japanese words as I am. But what makes Otoya so good is if you're a health-conscious consumer like I am, each item on the menu has a breakdown of the ingredients and how much kind of calories, protein, fibre is in each and every dish. So I've gone for this nice, healthy fried chicken caked in vinegar soy sauce. It smells so nice. Look at this. Look at this assortment of wonderful dishes. We've got this piping hot miso soup. We've got gokoku rice, literally 5 grains of rice. I remember the first time the staff came up to me and asked me what kind of rice I wanted. They were like, gokoku. I was like, what? What do you mean? What does that mean? And luckily it turns out it means 5 grains of rice, and it's healthier for you than regular white grain rice. We've also got the literal pile of food here served on this wonderful green plate. Fried chicken, green beans, onions, carrots, and the last piece of the puzzle, a little cheeky salad as well, with some sauce to drizzle upon the salad. Hey, but this vinegar sauce is so sticky, so beautiful. Oh, so good. For many years, I've sort of been reluctant to tell people about Otoya because it feels like a secret. Like, I don't know any other friend that eats here. And it's the best chain restaurant in Japan, in my opinion. And I don't feel that sort of sense of guilt that you get some of the other restaurants we're going to go to in this video. Yes, I could have gone for the boiled fish and got something a little bit healthier. It just tastes so good though. You know, you can eat fried chicken when it comes with salad, right? You can delude yourself that it is healthy. With each passing year, I grow increasingly deluded on abroad Japan, especially with the loudest alarm and world history in the background. This is just the beginning. Got 4 more restaurants to go, good God. But for less than 1,000 yen, this is absolute witchcraft. I don't understand how they can give you this much food at such a ridiculous price. Otoya, you might not be able to find them, but when you do, you're in for a bloody good time. Let's face it, with a taste score of 9 out of 10 at that price point, it's certainly going to be hard to top Otoya. Balanced, delicious and surprisingly healthy, it's the culinary equivalent of finding out your tax refund includes a free foot massage. The only downside is, it's the rarest restaurant on our list. Fortunately though, our next stop is the exact opposite. In fact, avoiding it at all might be the real challenge. When I like to feel like a criminal in Japan, I head to Gasuto, Japan's largest family restaurant chain, where its bottomless drink bar featuring tea, coffee and soft drinks costs a ridiculous 250 yen. It practically feels like daylight robbery. There's scarcely a town in Japan that hasn't got one, with 1,300 stores nationwide. And with many open 24 hours a day, it's a dream come true for insomniacs and jet-lagged travellers. With its budget-friendly mega menu serving up everything from pasta and shrimp to steak and chocolate sundaes, there's truly something for everyone. But this is the one that excites me the most. the Gusto lunch menu, where you can pick 3 items, get a seat and an all-you-can-drink drink bar for just 990 yen. Deal. Having placed our order via touchscreen because speaking to humans is so 2012, a robotic cat on wheels rolls over to our table, caked in plates. The high-tech future we were promised has finally arrived, and it's never looked so goddamn delicious. Fun fact, my first ever date in Japan was in Augusto. It was romantic. We bonded over reasonably priced French fries and Harry Potter. And while that love affair didn't really work out, because it turns out she was in Slytherin, scum, my love affair with Gusto blossomed, because the food is ridiculously cheap, and dare I say it, not too bad. Look at this. This is a well-balanced meal, definitely. We got spinach covered in bacon and butter, karaage fried chicken, and a star of the show, cheese in Hamburg, which sounds like a romantic dinner date in Germany. Alas, it is not. It's a hamburger stuffed full of oozing hot cheese. It is a bit like Mount Vesuvius. It's pretty fucking hot, but gets the job done. But for 991 yen before tax, and it comes with a soup and an all-you-can-drink drink bar, right? That's a pretty good steal. But Japan has no shortage of family restaurants. Gusto is the most widely spread, with 1,300 stores across the country. But you find different people have their own favourite family restaurant. Mine is actually not Gusto, it's Royal Host, but it's a little bit pricier, right? With younger folks, Caesarea usually comes out on top because of its Italian aesthetics. And the food there is thoroughly delicious, if you have your taste buds surgically removed. I have to say, out of these 3 dishes, the spinach smothered in butter is probably my favourite. I haven't tried this soup though. It does look a bit like something you find at the bottom of a dishwasher, but let's give it a try. Yeah, you don't need to worry about the soup at Gusto. We'll put that over there for the cameraman to enjoy. That's yours, Dave. Let's face it, there's not many places in the world you can stuff your face on butter spinach served by robot cats. In terms of bang for your buck, this 991 yen offer is an absolute steal, especially considering you could literally run the drink bar dry and legally get away with it. Challenge accepted. For all those reasons, Gusto makes our hit list. My God, look at all this money I've saved going out to cheap restaurants. What could I do with it all? I could invest in my future, maybe even start a charity.
Or you could take your favourite editor out for dinner.
Dinner? At a high-end restaurant, alone. Oh. And what better way to book that restaurant than with today's sponsor, Tabelog. Hey! With over 860,000 restaurants and 65 million user reviews, Tabelog has become the gold standard for discovering the best restaurants in the country. Now, thankfully, it's easy to use in English. But most importantly, what makes Tabelog so damn popular in Japan is its iconic rating system, where the scores aren't simple averages, but are calculated by taking into account the influence of the users. As of now, the highest restaurant is about 4.66 out of 5. And in fact, a score of 3.5 is exceptional. Just 3% of the restaurants on Tabelog have over 3.5. And just 0.07% have surpassed 4 stars. 5 stars is essentially an unattainable godlike level. So let's try searching for a restaurant using the website. You can search for restaurants using the Near Me function based on location or by type of food. Enter the time, date, number of people, and you'll get a list of restaurants. Be sure to check their scores and see what people have to say in their reviews. And of course, have a look through the mouth-watering, tantalising photos, so you too can decide the best restaurant to treat yourself, and of course, your beloved tea. Who wants a luxurious chicken dinner?
I do.
I bought you leftovers.
Oh, not again.
Next up is a bit of a wild card, called Tendon Tenya. Chances are you've never heard of it. I mean, I've only eaten there one time myself, simply because it's a bit rarer than the other restaurants on our list, with 150 stores nationwide, serving up golden crispy tempura at seemingly ridiculously low prices. It was founded in 1989 by Yoshinoya, an entrepreneur and visionary who helped bring McDonald's to Japan, before deciding Japan's greatest weakness was in fact not enough deep-fried prawns. Back then, tempura was seen as something of a luxury treat reserved for fine dining and multi-course kaiseki dinners. But after observing the automated nature of conveyor belt sushi, he conjured up a conveyor belt frying system that reduced the need for chefs and allowed high-quality tempura to be cranked out faster than you can say hello cholesterol. Soon, crowds were lining up for the now legendary 500 yen tempura bowl. And these days, while the cheapest bowl will set you back 620 yen, that's still an insanely low price for something that was once considered a luxury food. The question is, how good is it really?
Well, that was really quick. That was 90 seconds. How is this less than 1,000 yen? This is ridiculous. It's so much. Look at that. You got cold soba noodles. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, about 6 pieces of tempura. We've got soup, pickles, radish, and some sauce there for the noodles to go in with wasabi and onion. How is this under 1,000 yen? And it looks good as well. I will admit, the restaurant's done something rather foolish. On the back of the English menu, they've basically written a blueprint for how to set up your own tempura restaurant and make lots of money. They've written here the auto fryer, their secret weapon, right? The secret to cheap, quick and delicious tempura bowls. And it's basically a unit that fries the tempura for you so you don't need a chef to do it manually. Meanwhile, they've told you the recipe itself. The mystery ingredient is eel extract. Don't tell everyone the secret ingredient, for God's sake. Anyway, just the sheer bang for your buck here. This might be the greatest value yet we've seen so far. Let's give it a whirl. So first things first, wasabi and onion in the noodle sauce. A bit of cheeky mix. Now you can't go wrong with soba noodles. I don't think I've ever had bad soba noodles in my life in 10, 12 years living in Japan, so always a safe bet. Very good. Nice, beautiful, chewy texture. But this is the bit we're excited about. Look at that. The proof is in the pudding. It's time for tempura. Let's see if it's good. Wow, it's really good. Bloody hell. Very light batter. Crispy, salty, very light, and not oily or greasy. I often say in videos when I go to tempura restaurants that cheap tempura has a sort of oily texture to it, right? And the high-end tempura restaurants use cottonseed oil, whereas here they're using just some sort of generic vegetable oil. But this is very, very good. I've had cheap tempura before, and it's not good. I don't know how they've done it. Well, we do know how they've done it. The auto fryer, 6,000. They're giving the game away on the back of the menu. This is bloody good. One thing worth saying is the demographic in here tends to be a bit older, right? That's because A, there ain't no drink bar in here, so there's no kids. And B, on the menu, there's a lot of kind of mature options. For example, this set, this soba kind of tempura set, it had like a recommended drink with it, and it was a cup of nihonshu, like sake, which is quite rare at a sort of fast food restaurant, right? So you can tell they're definitely aiming this towards an older, more mature crowd, which of course is exactly the demographic that I am in. Suckers. Got cut there.
Tendon Tenya's tempura speedrun has genuinely blown me away. The portion size is absurd, the taste is a joy, and the entire experience lasted less than 5 minutes, which is either deeply efficient or slightly terrifying. And now that I've finally mastered the art of slurping noodles without sounding like a broken Dyson, it's time to put those skills to the test at our next budget dining location. No hit list of reasonably priced Japanese restaurants would be complete without a ramen chain, and we've certainly got a few to choose from. At this point, many would go for Ichiran, the ramen chain serving up tonkotsu pork broth ramen for introverts, Instagrammers, and people who think eating in isolation is somehow a spiritual act. But let's not pretend it's the best, because there's a ramen shop out there that isn't hiding behind a cubicle. A ramen shop that doesn't make you fill out a flavour questionnaire like you're applying for a bank loan. That place is Ipuddo. Ipuddo was founded in Fukuoka in 1985 by Shigemi Kawahara, a man who many refer to as the Ramen King, given he successfully won the World Ramen Championship 3 times in a row. Worrying about the future of the ramen industry and its association with being a greasy, inconsistent dish, eaten mostly by men who consider soap a conspiracy, Shigemi opened Ipuddo, meaning one wind hall, which sounds admittedly like a boutique yoga studio, to usher in a new breeze through the ramen world. And clearly, it paid off. Today, Ipuddo has over 200 branches worldwide, one of the few Japanese chains to truly enjoy some overseas success. Their signature dish is the creamy pork bone broth tonkotsu, which is simmered for hours until it turns into a milky, umami-rich potion of glory. With 3 main flavours to enjoy: Shiromaru Classic, a traditional clean porky taste; Akamaru Modern, a bold, garlicky, spicy miso-infused flavour; and Karaka Spicy, a flavour that practically feels like a slap in the face. And today I'm sticking with the OG, the Shiromaru Classic. No Ichiran customization nonsense here. I'm leaving the flavours firmly in the hands of the master, because if you can't trust the Ramen King, who can we trust in this world?
That is so much. Yes. Always start with the broth. In this case, tonkatsu Hakata style pork bone broth. Oh, so good, so creamy, so just. Comes with an egg and braised pork and the iconic Hakata style, very thin noodles. Check that out. You got to admit, tonkatsu ramen is an art form unto itself, right? And no matter where you are in the country, Ipuddo deliver the most consistent ramen you can find. I used to eat this a lot when I was up in Sendai, actually. It's thanks to Ryotaro that I came to Ipuddo. He was like, "Did you know only tourists go to Ichiran? Real Japanese go to Ipuddo." And I took that to heart. And I've noticed every time I go to Ichiran, it's just a queue of tourists. Whereas here, they're the only people who aren't Japanese. Oh, some good slurping. It is, of course, a messy affair. So thank God I've got this bib to keep my wonderful jumper, my nice black jumper, not covered in pieces of pork and noodle. I'm not being funny, they've got like an entire platoon of staff in here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I counted 7 members of staff, right? And there's only like 10 customers right now. I mean, it's good that there's so many. Clearly, they're all doing something. Maybe that's why the broth tastes so good. It is an unusual amount of people, not gonna lie. It's not like Ichiran where you can't see them. The staff should be heard, not seen. Here at Ipuddo, they're everywhere, everything, all at once. It really is the Apple Store of ramen.
Before I get talked into signing up for ramen care that I don't need, it's time to leave for our final bargain restaurant on the hit list. And while Ipuddo's taste and portion size are going to be hard to beat, our next location offers up food quicker than just about any other restaurant in the nation. Japan's answer to fast food is a hearty gyudon beef bowl. And while there are 3 big chains to pick between, including Sukiya, the largest, and Matsuya, famed for being the cheapest, the most stylish of them all, and the best all-rounder, for my money, is Yoshinoya, which has by far the coolest logo. Look at that bad boy. Whoa. Founded all the way back in 1899 at Tokyo's Nihonbashi Fish Market, Yoshinoya originally served up quick filling meals to hungry market workers who had no time to sit down for a leisurely meal. The name Yoshinoya comes from the founder's hometown, Yoshino, in Osaka Prefecture. But today in Tokyo alone there are 200 branches, and the restaurants aim to serve customers in 60 seconds or less. So let's find out if that's the case.
So Yoshinoya's thing is you're supposed to get your food in 60 seconds, and this took 51. It honestly takes me longer to open a crisp packet than it does for Yoshinoya to supply me with this bountiful meal, all for the price of 987 yen. So what do we get? We've got soup, a rather a salad in a bag. But this is the show-stopping, exciting bit. A rather large bowl of gyudon, topped with 1 to 2 kinds of cheese. Now in the past I've sung Sukiya's praises because they have a 3 kind of cheese beef bowl. Don't get me started, it's magical. Meanwhile Matsuya are known for having the cheapest beef bowl. However, I find Matsuya's beef looks kind of pale and anemic, whereas this is kind of a nice braised brown, right? Also, I don't think I've ever seen Sukiya's beef because it's always drizzled in 3 kinds of cheese. This looks like 2 kinds of cheese. Nobody quite knows how many kinds of cheese, but it smells pretty damn good. Look at that, thinly sliced shabu shabu style beef. Chopped onions, cheese. Simple as best, right? And Yoshinoya's secret weapon is they might not have 3 kinds of cheese. They might not have the ridiculous low prices of Matsuya. But what they do have is a nice sort of broth that they marinate the beef in, and that goes on with the rice, you know. Gyudon isn't just a pile of rice with some meat slapped on, there's more to it than that. But because Yoshinoya have been around over 100 years, you can taste
the 100 years of wisdom mixed in with that beef. Nobody quite knows what goes in Yoshinoya's secret sauce, but you can bet it's sugar, soy sauce, mirin cooking sake, and just gives it the most tantalising flavour. The soup's pretty good too, it's quite oniony, and dare I say rather soupy, because when you order it on the screen you choose just how soupy that the soup really is. I'll never forget on the cyclothon last year though, Connor and I were absolutely destroyed going through Shizuoka, just before Mount Fuji, and we went to a Yoshinoya for dinner, and it just revitalised me. Just the pile of rice, the beef, the sauce. And I kind of associate it with a hard day's work, a physical day's work. So if you've cycled 500 kilometres across Japan, get yourself a Yoshinoya. You won't regret it, but maybe don't cycle 500 kilometres across Japan. There's nothing sensible about doing that. Well.
So there you have it, guys. 5 chain restaurants in Japan, each under 1,000 yen, and not a single regret. Unless you count the robot cat's judgmental stare at Gusto. These chains prove that eating on a budget in Japan really doesn't have to feel like punishment. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. If you want even more incredible budget dining options, 12 of them in fact, none of which we've covered today, then check out my previous video, How Expensive is Japanese Food Really? Exploring more tantalising options, but without the 1,000 yen limitation thrown in. As always, many thanks for watching Abroad in Japan. I'll see you next time. As for me, well, I'm going to get to work on my next video. How to burn off the calories of Japan's 5 cheapest bloody restaurants. What was I thinking? My God.
Next video sorted.